All right, well, whistleblowers like David Grush and Lue Elizondo are attempting to prove aliens exist beyond a shadow of a doubt by going public with what they know about UFOs. NewsNation special correspondent Ross Coulthart has interviewed both, revealing alleged shocking government cover-ups, including a non-human crash retrieval program. This week, he expands on that conversation with former State Department analyst Marik von Rennenkampff. The link to that episode available by scanning the QR code on your screens. And joining me now is NewsNation special correspondent Ross Coulthart. Ross, good morning to you. Let's first listen to part of what that former State Department analyst said about what people report when they allegedly see UFOs.
And I will add that one of the most common phenomena that was reported, and I assume still is, and if we read between the lines of a lot of what the Pentagon is released in terms of pilot reports, that round spherical objects, sometimes multicolored, usually red at night or metallic during the day, and you know this, Ross, right? We've covered this. That is one of the most commonly reported phenomena.
How do his claims compare to ones that you've heard before?
His claims are absolutely spot on. Firstly, good morning. What he's basically saying is what the Office of the Director of National Intelligence said back in 2021, that UAPs are real, that they display phenomena, characteristics that we can't explain with known human technology. They do things that we just can't do with our science, and they appear to be intelligently controlled. And as Marik said there, a lot of this phenomena is orbs, spherical orbs, sometimes glowing plasma, sometimes metallic. But the disturbing thing is that they're showing themselves over military facilities. And right back in 2021, people have forgotten their history. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence published an absolutely groundbreaking report that reversed 50, 60 years of denials, and the Pentagon finally admitted that UAPs are real, that they're inexplicable, and that they should be investigated, and that they are a national security concern and a public safety threat. So this is a real front page agenda issue now. You've got the Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer, pushing legislation in the House to try and get through accountability provisions. And he has actually said that multiple credible sources have alleged that elements of the government have illegally withheld UFO-related information from Congress. It doesn't get much more serious than that.
We also chatted with another whistleblower that you have spoken with as well, Lue Elizondo. We talked to him earlier this week, a longtime Defense Department researcher. You sat down with him for an exclusive interview here on NewsNation, where he claimed that UFOs are real. He sort of took us into what the Pentagon has been looking into. How has that conversation been received?
Well, obviously, you still have a really interesting situation in the US where you've got the Pentagon dogmatically denying that there is any issue here. They're trying to bury it as quickly as possible. But conspicuously, the Director of National Intelligence, who is the intelligence czar created after 9/11 to oversee the intelligence community, they're not saying that. They're not letting the Pentagon get away with it. They're actually saying, yes, these things are real. It's no longer a claim that UAPs are real. They're real. And the Director of National Intelligence admits it. So you have a problem at the moment that the UFO Investigation Office, ARRO, is within the Pentagon. And there are people in the intelligence and defense community who are trying to muzzle the issue. They're trying to stop you, the public, from knowing what's really going on. And when you've got people like Senator Chuck Schumer, one of the most powerful people in the Congress, saying that multiple credible sources have alleged that the government is concealing evidence of a UAP retrieval and reverse engineering program, at what point does the American public make this an election issue and say, look, we want answers, we want this investigated?
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.